on this Giants team that we're much better than.
Yeah, and as much as we like to approach it as pros and think that we are putting the same type of mentality and psychological part of the game into every game, we're just not. That's not the truth. I played in the league 9 years. Every game wasn't created the same. You want to believe that it is, but I'm sure the Bucs looked at the New York Giants and they've been hearing about how bad they are in the NFC East, and they've lost some guys on the offensive line, so this defense wanted to take more chances. And I got to give the Giants credit. They played well. Jason Garrett had a great plan. Unfortunately, I knew at some point Daniel Jones would give Tampa the ball and give them a few extra possessions, and that's what it took. But I looked at this offense, very vanilla, no juice, no energy, compared to when we last saw them against Green Bay. It was a whole different animal. So, look, I'm not making an excuse for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but the way they played, how they called plays, the lethargic attitude that they had until they started getting the ball to their playmakers, lended me to believe that they really wasn't into that game until it was like red alert.
Yeah, but Marcus, I actually take more from that game and think more highly of the Bucs than I would have if they had the blowout victory that I expected. Because here's the thing, like, to be a championship team, you got to have championship mettle. And sometimes you got to win the game that you could point back to and say, we shouldn't have won that game. A couple weeks ago, Bruce Arians said after the Chargers game, you know what, last year we would have lost that football game. Nah, man, you were down 24-7. You're going to lose a lot of games down 24-7. This was the game that last year you would have lost because you didn't adjust like you did last night, and Tom Brady didn't turn the football over like Jameis would have done last year. And it was about getting Rob Gronkowski the ball, specifically in that play-action game in the second half. They got into a rhythm. They protected the quarterback. They were way more efficient on first down. They had to go grind out that victory, right? Like, they weren't going to just go blow the Giants out. But they had to figure out a way to grind out a win when they didn't have their A game. And to at the moment go, all right, the play needs to get made now. Like, this is the time you have to go make the play. And they did that. And that's why I actually look at the team and go, that was a really impressive road win, more than 31-7 victory.
Mina, there was one thing that Tom Brady does particularly well that the coaching staff really didn't exploit in the first half last night. What is that?
Yeah. Play action, Laura. So there were a few things I was screaming at the television in the first half. Stop running the ball on first down. Give the ball to Rob Gronkowski. And let's see some more play action passes. Because when Tom Brady has thrown out of play action, he's been excellent this year. That's actually the third highest completion percentage in the league. And yet, despite these splits, the Bucs have used it amongst the lowest rates in the NFL, which is, of course, a stark contrast to New England. Last night, in the second half, he used it on 43% of his throws. Both of those passing touchdowns were off of play action. You saw it was working, and I wonder if perhaps going forward, this offense might lean on play action a bit more heavily, even when they get Chris Godwin and Antonio Brown back.
Yeah, you got to think that Brady would at least be advocating for that. And you mentioned Chris Godwin and Antonio Brown. Let's bring Adam back in. Antonio Brown, you just tweeted about it, Schefter, officially activated by this Bucs team. What should we expect his role to be this week and then on Sunday?
Bruce Arians talked about it today, Laura. He said basically that Antonio Brown is not going to play 60 plays on Sunday night against the New Orleans Saints. It will all depend on the flow of the game. Might be 10 plays, might be 30 plays. Depends on how much success he has. My sense would be, I've seen these things unfold before, it'll be closer to 30 than it is 10, but it will depend on the flow of the game. And right now, officially, he is active, and they've moved in that direction, so he is expected to make his Buccaneers debut on Sunday night.
Yeah, let's turn to the other team in that game, the Saints. Do you think we could see Saints wide receiver Michael Thomas back this week finally for Drew Brees?
That is the question that has come up every single week in recent weeks. And remember, he suffered the high ankle sprain in week 1. He suffered a grade 1 hamstring strain a couple of weeks ago that was expected to sideline him 1 to 2 weeks. We're beyond that 1 to 2 week period. From a physical standpoint, there should not be any issues with Michael Thomas being out there. But this is not just a physical issue situation in New Orleans. This is more complex and layered due to the fact that he had the fight with the teammate. He was disrespectful to the coaching staff. They wanted apologies. He was very proud and was hesitant to do that. There is a whole lot going on here. So we've got the physical questions about Michael Thomas's recovery. We've got his feelings being hurt. And so we are now entering week 9. Michael Thomas has not played since week 1. I think it has less to do with the physical injuries than anything else. But listen, it's about that time for him to get out there and play. This team needs him. He needs them. They need each other. Time to make it happen.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Just the layers to this Michael Thomas situation. To your point, Schefter, a lot more to it than maybe meets the eye. We got more coming your way on NFL Live, and we'll be back in moments. After 2 straight losses, is it time for the Bears to go?
Contact with Marlon Humphrey, who tested positive for the virus. They obviously will not practice there. Those 7 Ravens are Matthew Judon, Patrick Queen, Deshaun Elliott, LJ Fort, Malik Harrison, Terrell Bonds, Tyus Bowser. And so they can't practice this week, but they can play Sunday if they pass 5 days of testing, a challenging week for Baltimore. Meanwhile, Broncos general manager John Elway and team executive Joe Ellis both tested positive for COVID-19, according to the team. They're both at home. Coincidence that they both got it. We're not around each other, but now we're at home trying to take care of what goes on there right now. Obviously a major issue at this point in time for the Denver Broncos.
Adam Schefter with us for the rest of the show. You'll be back with us in a bit. And so let's talk about the trade deadline, guys. Now, it has passed. How about a contender that should have made a move? We start with you, Marcus Spears.
Yes, it should have been the Baltimore Ravens looking for a wide receiver. Listen, I know Lamar Jackson is the calling card to what they want to do offensively. I know they can run the football with the best of them. I know this defense is elite. But I'm looking for Lamar Jackson, a weapon on the outside, to create a one-on-one situation where he can have a safety valve like every other contender that's trying to win a Super Bowl has.
I think the Buffalo Bills needed to go get some secondary help. This is a team that should win its division, but it's got to be thinking longer than that and past that. This is a team that should make some noise in the playoffs. And the offense has certainly hit a rough spot, but it'll get better and it'll get more continuity. But their back end has not been good enough. And you're going to have to slow down passing games to win in the playoffs in the AFC this year. They needed to go get secondary help.
So the Titans did get secondary help, but they did not address their pass rush, which has been generating pressure at the lowest rate in the NFL. Part of the reason Joe Burrow looked like, as Dan Orlovsky might say, the greatest quarterback in the history of football last week is they didn't pressure him at all. I was hoping they would get a Ryan Kerrigan or an Alden Smith, but alas, they did not bolster their front seven.
A lot of quarterbacks are the greatest in all time for Dan Orlovsky. How about the one last night on Monday Night Football? Tom Brady, the GOAT. Hey, listen, it was his 25th appearance on Monday Night Football against the Giants, and he starts out smiling. He's kind of saying hey to everybody, but not so much with the smiles after a slow first quarter sacked by Leonard Williams.
And this was part of the first half frustrations, really. Way too many 3rd and longs, and that Giants defensive line is way better than people think. The Buccaneers offense was stagnant.
Yeah, they trailed 14-6 at halftime, 3rd quarter, and Brady to Gronk.
This is the back end of a great drive, and you just get that little hardball play-action fake, and Gronk leaks right behind that Giants second level.
4th quarter, Giants up 17-15 in Bucs territory and intercepted Daniel Jones.
This is a panic throw. It's 2nd and 5. You got points there. All you have to do is throw that ball away, throw it into the ground. That is the moment of panic that defined the night for Daniel Jones. And then this is right after the drive. A great throw by Tom Brady, Mike Evans to the back pylon, Mina's favorite route, a goal line fade.
A minute 25 left in the 4th. After a Bucs field goal, the Giants are down. And how about Jones buying time there to Sterling Shepard?
Not only buying time, Laura, but like keeping his eyes downfield, and Sterling Shepard just finding that zone, that soft spot. And then this is the Danny Dimes throw. This is outstanding. He sees the safety drip to the hash. You throw it right up over to the defender, only where 15 GT can go get it. Beautiful job by Daniel Jones.
Blaine Gabbert disbelief because the Giants are within 2 points. They try for the conversion, but not able to get it. Deion Lewis not able to get that there. The pass is broken up. Antoine Winfield Jr. gets there just as the ball arrives. And Danny Dimes, not Danny Dimes right there. The Bucs hang on to win that one. And Marcus,